Okay, so we are here to start the 2026 Physics Revision and Paper Class series, and mainly during this time period you might have covered some theories, you might have confused some theories, or else you might have missed out on some theories as well. And yeah, some have the right knowledge on the theories and they are unable to focus on the question series as well. So mainly this series is built to cover up the gap between the theory and questions. So end of the day, a student is able to get the right theory, the right equation to be used at an exam hall. So I would like to divide the study plan into three levels, level 1, level 2 and level 3. So under level 1, we mainly focus on building the basic knowledge behind our theories. For example, anyone is able to draw a graph between displacement and time, or else velocity and time with the relevant equations. But let's say if someone asks you to draw a graph between velocity and displacement, it feels a bit confusing because these two axes are not familiar for us. So building the right familiarity or else getting the right knowledge in building these graphs are going to get covered under here. And also this graph plays a vital role under physics because the relevant information from a graph, like the gradient from a graph or else the area under the graph, is so important. So getting the right information is also obtained under this. Then after this, we are also going to focus on the required theories because you are supposed to sit for your term test exams, improve your confidence. So the right theory which you have missed out is also going to get covered under here. And by the end of this level 1, you are able to get a familiar idea on what equation to be used, what theory to be used at relevant circumstance. So completion of this, we are able to forward towards level 2 where, because when it comes to phased questions, it will be only from mechanics or it will be only from waves. But it's quite unexpected, right? Because after MCQ 30, we are supposed to deal questions which have multiple theories like mechanics plus electric field, mechanics plus waves, so on. So getting familiar to these mixed questions is also important. So mainly these questions are actually obtained from past papers, these model papers where people are able to relate things. And also since we have completed the level 1, since we have the relevant theories and the basic knowledge, this section looked completely easy. And mainly I used to focus on an essay series here because when it comes to an MCQ, they'll be asking you to find only one parameter. Let's say they are going to ask you to find the range. But you should understand, you should get an idea about the time as well. Then only you are able to get the range. So this pattern is not be observable when it comes to an MCQ. So mainly to deal these mixed theory questions, we mainly focus on an essay series. Because there's a step down breakthrough in an essay where you're able to get the relevant parameters. Because even you might have seen, to obtain the range, we might have solved the what S is equal to ut plus half at squared in the vertical direction, and you might find the time. Then you will be finding the range because the time used to play a vital role under here. So from an essay question, it will be an organized way. Each and every step counts for a marks. So we used to mainly focus on an essay series. So we are able to follow the right steps when it comes to a multiple series question. Then onwards, we should be able to solve questions much more quick because actually the time limit is around 2 hours, which means for a question it's instructed to have at least 2 minutes. So we mainly focus on having a shortcut series because there are some questions which you don't want to allocate 2 minutes. Let's say a collision question. Let's say there's a perfectly elastic collision, V1. So when you're editing this, make sure to cancel these off. Okay, let's say there's an elastic collision question because you are able to find the relevant velocities. Of course, you can use the conservation of momentum, the conservation of kinetic energy, and of course, eventually you can find it. But actually, when it comes to an MCQ question, it's actually time consuming, and since there are squares, you might make some errors. So instead of trying this way, you can use a shortcut such as V4 minus V3 is equal to V2 minus V1. This is one such equation. And after using the conservation of momentum, you can straightforward find an answer. So such shortcut questions can be discussed under here. And I want to introduce an additional thing called derived equation. Because now let's say if you want to find the range of an object, you must first find the time, then you can apply S is equal to ut and you can find the range. But instead of using that way, we can use a direct equation like u squared over g 2g sine 2 theta. So actually this derived equation plays a vital role when it comes to an MCQ. So as I said, I'm not going to get you a note saying, okay, the derived equation for range is this one, this or that. Because as I said, this is an essay series. We are able to get the derived equation through essays. First of all, I used to say, okay, find this, then this. Eventually, we are able to get a range under here. And some key points, because when it comes to some question, we must need some theory knowledge and some indirect theory knowledge as well. Let's say, in a projectile, the maximum range is there for an angle of 45. I don't know how much you know that. And also, there's an important thing that if you project a projectile with an angle 30, and if you have the same projectile with an angle of 60, again the range will be the same. That's an indirect idea. So such key points will be discussed under here. So covering this, we are able to move forward towards level 3, where we used to cover the general past papers and so on, because eventually we must get suited to the past paper environment. So actually covering these sections would help us. Past papers in the sense from MCQ onwards to the essays. And some might think, okay, it's really time consuming because we are covering level 1, level 2 and level 3 and then only we are doing the past papers. No, that's not the case, because already as I said, the questions we used to get under here are mainly from past papers and some of these questions. So already when you are here, we have covered some section of past papers and we are supposed to cover the remaining past papers. It might be years from before 90s, so on. And also that, I would like to introduce our YouTube channel and a website, which actually includes classified equations, classified short notes, and relevant theory parts, so that students no need to go through every phase. Because through here, I just want to make everyone for an A+, more than an A+, sorry. It will be from 75 plus, because the Z score too matters. So someone who is more suitable to here can actually start covering this relevant past papers from our website. It's at https uracademy.netlify.app and our YouTube channel is UR Academy, and each and every week there is a past paper discussed, each and every week there is a Royal College paper discussed. So actually people can go through that as well. It's an additional thing, no cost for that. So mainly this procedure is followed to get a basic idea, the right theory and the right knowledge. So make sure to support us by joining this. Thank you.